What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Second City Sports Talk. I'm Keaton here with Papa Bear. June 2021 is in the history books, and we knew it was going to be a tough one for the Cubs, but the Cubs played some bad baseball this month. It was rough.
It was rough. This is the June swoon that we're always so worried about. It, it came in, started okay, right? I mean, they didn't.
They started off on.
They had a tough schedule.
Yeah, they did have a really tough schedule. We'll get a little bit more into the month of June and talk about what went wrong, really. Yeah. But right now, the Cubs are 42-39 in second place right now in the division. 6 games back from the Brewers. That's the problem. We're on a 6-game losing streak.
The Brewers are playing pretty well. I was reading a stat that before they met us, they were kind of hitting kind of poorly, but they scored 31 runs. Well, we'll talk about some of those games in a second against us in their sweep that they just
15 today. 15.
That's crazy. That's nuts. So
6-game losing streak. That's against the Dodgers and the Brewers. Yeah. We ended the month off really poorly. Yeah. We started the month off actually 8-4. We went 12-16 in all of June. So we went 4-12 to end the month. Not good. Yeah, we
weren't always getting swept, but we were only winning 1 out of 3 games a couple of times, especially at the end of the month.
The worst part for me is that the second half of June, to me, June to me, actually seemed like the easier half of the month, and we played way worse. Yeah, we had the worst batting average in the majors during June. Yeah. Everyone played worse because the problem was everyone had such a good month of May. The bullpen, most of our starters, all of our hitters, basically. Yeah. And there was some players really fell off in the month of June. Yeah, I mean,
Bryant, I think his average is down quite a bit.
He was batting like 320 to start June. He's now down to like 263. Yeah. Javi's had a rough month.
He's having a rough. Yeah. We're injured too right now. It's a little tricky with some of the injuries. The bullpen, they're honestly, even though they've had some rough goes recently,
they're the
only thing kind of keeping us in the hunt at all in second place. To be honest, we'd be totally in the crapper if the bullpen didn't do as well as they were. And I know I just saw Tepera, had a kind of a rough outing the other day, but he's injured now. So hopefully somebody can fill his spot. But man, it was a rough couple of games.
I saw a funny thing. I don't remember exactly what it was, but something like in the last 5 games, Kimbrel has pitched once, Sogard has pitched twice.
That's sad. No, sorry, really I laughed, but I meant to be like,
it was sad. It was a sad laugh. It was a laugh of sorrow. Yeah. That's rough.
Are we ready to face today's game recap? Because
I want to talk a little bit more about the month of June.
I'm getting heartburn thinking about it.
Really, Hendricks and Davies have actually been much better. Yeah. I feel like even in the month of May, there were still some inconsistencies from those two guys, but they have been by far our best pitchers in the month of June. Arrieta, and we'll talk a little bit more about him. Yeah. He has probably been our worst pitcher. I was looking at it. His last really good outing was June 9th against the Padres, where he only allowed 1 run in like 5 innings. It was a good game
from
for
Arrieta
him.
At this point, but there's
this point we have to start considering with Arrieta whether it's time to maybe try him out in the bullpen, because to me it looks like an older pitcher, way past his prime. He's seen his play decline a lot in the last 4 years.
It's hard to say because who are you going to put in for him? We just don't really have the guys to throw in there in the rotation. So I'm sure Rossi's thinking, who do I put in for him? I mean, who am I going to swap him out for at this point? Some brand new guy, and it's tough. It's a tough situation.
You already mentioned this, but Duffy has been moved to the 60-game IL. Riz, KB, Nico Horner, Trevor Williams, and David Bodie. They're all still dealing with injuries. I think Rizzo and Chris Bryant, they're kind of a day-to-day right now.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Bryant's dealing with some kind of oblique injury, and Rizzo with a back injury.
His back continues.
He has a bad back, man.
Yeah, it continues to be a problem.
Kind of like
him. Yeah, kind of like me for sure. It's tricky. This month is, the trade deadline, although it's still a month away, the way they played in the month of June kind of puts them in that position of being sellers. At the
problem is right now is that it would be what's more alarming is that the month of June was obviously against good teams who are expected to make the playoffs and contenders.
Sure.
And the fact that we played so badly against those good teams makes us think that we don't, even if we make the playoffs, we're not going to make it past the first round.
Kind of what we were saying even in the beginning of the season in April, how, we were like, oh, what's the outlook? Well, so they could be good, could be bad. You got to be able to beat the really good teams. You can't tank, and you can't be 6 down against the Brewers at this time of the season.
No, you can't. I mean, things are gonna get easier, but the fact that we struggled so much in June is going to be something that the front office definitely has to look at and consider when they decide if we're buyers or sellers.
Speaking of troubles, today was one of the hardest days. I think I'm sure as Cubs fans, watched the game today.
For me, I've been a Cubs fan for around 6 years now. Obviously not. I haven't experienced the same amount of pain that most Cubs fans have. But today was one of the worst losses I've watched in Cubs history. Yeah. It was like we just saw everything slowly melt down in front of our faces. The Cubs really imploded in that game. We scored 7 in the first inning.
Yeah.
And despite that, I still had zero confidence going into the other innings.
Okay.
That's how low my confidence is in the Cubs right now.
Usually when you have a 7-run lead in the first inning, you win that game. But I was reading, this is in the modern era, this is the first time that you had 2 7-run slides within 4 innings. Basically, the Cubs had a 7-run lead. By the 4th inning, the Brewers had a 7+ run lead at that point. It was pretty crazy.
It's simply unacceptable for any team that's considering making a playoff run or thinking that they're a good team to be blowing a 7-run first inning lead. Yeah. I mean, that's something that you would see the Pirates do.
Yeah, and the other thing is the 7-run first inning almost seems like an accident because they didn't score anything after that. So
no,
and I know they took out their starter who was just this. It was his first pitching. So he'll come back from that, I'm sure. Then you got Arrieta, a veteran, coming in and blowing it. So, but we can't score any more runs after the first 7 you get in the first inning?
But that's not the problem. In my opinion, that's not on the hitters. 7 runs. Of course,
this was most
7 runs for a good team. 7 runs should almost always be enough to win the game.
Yeah.
If you, but the problem is right now that the pitching is struggling so much. Arrieta right now is so unreliable. Yeah. When I saw that he was because he had an at bat in that first inning. When I saw that, I was like, oh God, we're still gonna lose this game.
Oh man! Well, when I heard the score, I was working, so I didn't get a chance to watch the game myself. But I'm like, hey, you got a 7-run lead. That's a good positive thing. And then I all I heard was him downstairs watching the game and just crying out horrible, oh my God, this and that. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I felt like I knew exactly what was happening. I didn't get a chance to even check any of the game. I knew something was wrong.
It's all too familiar for Cubs fans to watch this kind of stuff happening. Yeah. Not just Arrieta, the bullpen struggled a lot. Arrieta let up 6 runs. The bullpen let up
Nance 9. Had a horrible day. I think it was Nance, and who was the other guy that came in?
Nance, I don't know. Yeah, I turned off the game after a little while. I was so frustrated.
Yeah. Well, the Brewers, they scored 15 runs. They scored 14 runs in one of the other games. It's just that can't happen. Our pitching's got to be better. You're never going to win. And worst
of all, not only did we lose such, we just got gut punched basically by this game. Patrick Wisdom got injured.
Oh no!
Patrick Wisdom, who's I wasn't watching the game at the time. But apparently there was a collision in the outfield.
Oh, jeez.
Or the infield. I don't know exactly. And
so he's injured now. He's
injured now too. Patrick Wisdom.
Of injuries.
Yeah. It was a rough game. It's hard to recover from that kind of stuff. Yeah. Especially at this point in the season with the trade deadline. We're going to talk about that a bit in a second. We're going to kind of discuss what our feelings are about the trade deadline right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough.
So the rest of the season, what's it looking like? I mean, it's hard to see us coming back from this kind of swoon, essentially, at this point. What do you think?
I mean, at this point, I think there's still a chance we make the playoffs. I don't think it's time to
throw in the towel right now.
I don't think it's time to throw in the towel yet. I think, and you know, this is kind of like the cliche where Cubs fans throughout the season have just been saying, all right, just give us a few more series and we'll get things on track and we'll show that we're actually a playoff team. But I genuinely do think that you should give us at least a few more series, at least until the All-Star game. Maybe we can recover. We play the Reds, I think, soon. We play the Phillies and the Cardinals.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, we play the Diamondbacks and Cardinals twice. Both of those teams have been struggling a lot recently.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's still a chance that we can recover from this this June. And to be honest, it wasn't the worst case scenario of June. When you looked at the schedule for the Cubs, and you saw all the really good teams in June, it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
I don't know if the second half of June could have been worse, but the first half definitely could have been worse.
Yeah.
So my opinion, I think right now we're still buyers, and I say that very tentatively because I'm not sure right now. I'm very unsure. But right now I still think we're buyers.
Basically, the next couple series is gonna decide. They start talking about this stuff in the mid July. I mean, they don't do it at the end of the trade deadline. I'm sure a lot of discussions happen, but they're already talking about it probably with people who could they get for Kimbrel? What kind of prospects could they get for Kimbrel or somebody like Bryant right now?
And maybe that is the best. Maybe that is the best move. Option for the Cubs right now.
Right now, no Cub fan wants to think, oh, we've thrown in the towel because, of course, you'll still go see the game. You'll still go to Wrigley Field. Everyone loves, seeing the Cubs and play. It doesn't really change.
Nobody wants to watch losing baseball for the next few months.
With COVID being a little bit out of the way, people are loving going there, and it's a great sort of environment to be in. But at this time of the season,
I'm sure everybody saw the beer snakes. The beer snakes. Yeah, that was awesome.
They're putting an end to that, man. They're putting an end to that. But I don't know. I mean, I think to me, my opinion is, man, it really is the next couple series that will decide whether the Cubs are going to go all in or they're just going to kind of tank the rest of the season. So let's maybe in our next video, I think we're probably going to be taking a little bit of a break. We're going to be pretty busy for the next few weeks, so you might not get another video for a little while. Although maybe keep an eye out for a vlog type video at a Cubs game in person. We'll see. We have
some ideas. We're gonna be going to a Cubs game, so we're excited about that.
Take you something into live Wrigley Field coverage at some point here. So,
all right.
But
one more thing. Make sure you guys are voting for the Cubs in the All-Star voting. I think right now KB is still up really high, but some other Cubs could use some help. So make sure you guys are voting for the Cubs.
Go vote as many times as you can. I don't know how they stop you from voting a lot.
5 different accounts.
Yeah, go do it. I'm sure you can do it. So, all right. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a little while before we had a video. We'll try to keep up after we get back from a break.
Things should be more consistent once we approach the football season.
Football season. We'll get back to you with some Bears news as well.
That's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care.
See ya.